Hi, I'm Faith McCann, and I've been a witch for over 40 years. And no, we are not evil. Learn more about the magical world and how the magical world affects your world right here on The Magical Alternative. And you don't have to be a witch to watch. Hello, Magical Ones, and welcome to The Magical Alternative. I'm your host, Faith McCann. Hello, crew. And tonight, we welcome back our musical friend, Dean Bolt. Give him a hand, everyone. And tonight, all the way from Ireland, we have another discussion with Faith and Gavin, with my good friend, Gavin Bone. Give him a hand. As this is our 250th year anniversary, I want to share with you a bit about my hometown, where I was born and raised on a farm in Colchester, Connecticut. Colchester, Connecticut was founded as a plantation settlement and officially incorporated in 1699. The roots of the town go back even earlier to 1661, when the site, then called Jeremiah's Farm, was settled by Jeremy Adams on land granted to him by Uncas, the sachem of the Mohegan tribe. Whereas a lot of focus during the July 4th holidays are on the Declaration of Independence, our Dear John letter to Great Britain. A Dear John letter is a breakup message sent by a romantic partner, typically a wife or a girlfriend, to inform their significant other that the relationship is kaput. The term originated during World War II to describe letters sent to deployed U.S. servicemen overseas. This was the American colony's way of telling Great Britain to get off my lawn. Well, it's very important nowadays to remember our entire history, from the involuntary contributions from the black and brown slaves who were forcefully brought here, not only from Africa, but from the West Indies, primarily Barbados and Jamaica, to the contributions of the Native American tribes, many of which were also enslaved. They all contributed to the beginnings of this country. Colchester is an amazing example. After it was settled by English settlers, it was significant in supplying General George Washington's troops with beef for our soldiers to survive during the winter, especially during the Battle of Valley Forge. And that is credited with our side winning the Revolutionary War. That beef came right from Colchester. 150 years later, it was found to be a thriving Jewish farming community with many farms, primarily poultry farms, and a few dairy farms, like my family's farm on West Road, Stula Acres. These farms were reputed to have been financed by Jewish financiers from New York City, who sponsored new immigrants to America who wanted to start a new life here in southern New England. I was so incredibly lucky to find this video, motion picture, black and white with music, made in September 1942, called Colchester Marches On. This had been put on a social media page by a Mr. James McNair, and the admin of Facebook's You Know You Grew Up in Colchester, Connecticut When. If you're too young to remember, in September 1942, the United States was deeply mobilized for World War II, experiencing rapid industrial wartime conversion, the early implementation of strict rationing, and the intense combat operations in the Pacific. It's only 6.5 minutes long, but I want to share it with you now. Right here we have Colchester in September of 1942. This is the town green. Then we go to Broder's Feed Store. Oh, this is not Broder's Feed Store, but this is a building at the end of the green that's still there. And here we have Broder's Feed Store. And in a town that was predominantly a farming community, a feed store was very significant and an important place where a lot of people, farmers and other people, would gather to socialize. Right here we have a hopper machine where after the canvas bags were filled with grain, this worker here was putting them in so they could be sewn closed. And this was something that was vital for every single farm in the region. We have a war memorial here that's still there at the Colchester Green, and this is the Chestnut Lodge that was found, the building's still there, but it was found on Route 85 going south outside of Colchester. Now, this is at a time that World War II was going on, but people were still trying to enjoy and socialize and make the best of a scary situation in our history. Warren Goldberg congratulating Harold Brown, extending his good wishes for a successful career. I haven't been able to find out exactly what the career was. And that is my Aunt Stella Ann Stula Johnston, and her beauty salon. I was so excited to see this, and I had my father, who's 91 now, verify that that was her. And that building is still there on the side of the park in the center of Colchester. And that's my grandmother, Anna Stula. Chief Air Raid Warden Jack Broder, and so many people in Colchester and all the other towns were involved with civil defense at this time. Men, women, everyone were involved with the war effort. They would get together on the town green for drills and for muster. This is Horowitz's hardware store on the side of the center green. And those of you that are old enough to remember might remember Gurian's drugstore. Oh, this is Bacon Academy. That building is still there. It was the very first academy, Gurian's Drugs. And right next door was Agranovich's, luncheonette, bus station, and soda counter. My mother actually worked there. That was kind of exciting to see. And this is the Lieutenant Pettigall of the Connecticut State Police. This is how we were able to date this video, September 1942. That was really exciting to see that. And here comes the local police department, and then the Hayward Fire Department. And back then, except for the chiefs, everyone was volunteer. Many of those people were farmers when they weren't volunteering for a fire. Now, a very important part of the Colchester area is Westchester. It's still there, and a lot of farms, and it's still very significant to this day. And I believe this was the Deitch Brothers General Store. Schuster's Garage. And at this time, everyone would have brought somebody into town to have their opportunity to be in this motion picture. It wasn't like having a video today on your phone. This was a really big deal for people. Central School, that was the middle school that I went to, and Master Joseph Broder doing his patriotic duty toward the salvage drive. Everyone, regardless of age, helped out in World War II, and this little boy, he's about maybe 5 or 6 years old, was bringing scrap metal. Everyone collected to help out. This was the Hayward restaurant down at Lake Hayward, where people went for the summertime. People don't realize that for a very long time in the 20th century, Colchester was considered the Catskills of southern New England. People came here, they stayed on the farms, and they took vacation, people that were coming from the city that had a lot of money. This was the theater. It's not there any longer. I hope you enjoyed that. And for anyone that recognizes anyone in that video, or perhaps a neighbor, a relative, and you can identify them, please write to this email, enchantmentct@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We will run this short film again at the end of this episode with the original music, without my narration, for those who want to watch it as it was created in 1942. If anyone recognizes anyone, a relative, a neighbor, and can identify them, please write to this email, enchantmentct@gmail.com, and let us know. We would really love to identify more people in this video. So I want to thank Mr. McNair, the admin of Facebook's You Know You Grew Up in Colchester When. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. And now for your musical enjoyment, we're our guest again, Mr. Dean Bolt.
Thank you so much, Faith. I appreciate it. What I wish for today, tell you everything is gonna be okay. That would be a lie, to look you in the eye and tell you that our love is headed for maybe we could start again. We could start as friends, and it would be alright for a while, I think. Then it would break down. Next I know you're leaving town. I'm just no good when my mood swings around. I wish I could succeed to satisfy your needs. I'm off in my head, and who knows where that leads. Maybe we could start again. We could start as friends, and it would be alright. I hate to be that way, change, as they say, it don't come easy, harder yet for it to stay. So I talk to the moon, yeah, and that's a pretty soon. but there's no how to talk that could change our tune. Maybe we could start again. We could start as friends, and it would be alright for a while, I think. Maybe we could start again. I know we could start as friends, and it would be alright in the end. Thank you very much. This next song is called Make the Dance. I took a song, put it in a boat, gave it a sail and lots of notes. Pushed it off, I hope it will float, so we can join the dance. Dance with me, can't you see? We were made to dance with the stars up above. We could fall in love if we just give it half a chance. Put a tune in a hot balloon, send it sailing up to the moon. I hope it will rise beyond my eyes, so we can join the dance. Dance with me, can't you see? We were made to dance with the stars up above. We could fall in love if you just give it half a chance. So launch your dreams on crystal streams, set your sights on rising beams. Ride the wind every now and again, 'cause now you're in the dance. Now you're in, for sure you're in. Now you're in the dance. Now you're in, for sure you're in. Now you're in the dance. Thanks very much.
Woo! And that was Dean Bolt. Awesome job with those songs. Thank you so much, Dean. And in studio tonight, my guest is Mr. Tom Topping, who is a social media influencer and a man about town. And he's here to talk about the 4th of July celebrations in Manchester, Connecticut this year. So give a hand to my guest, Mr. Tom Topping.
Well,
Hello.
thank you, Faith. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great. How are things shaping up for the 4th of July in the Manchester area?
Well, we're excited. The fireworks take place on July 11th,
Okay.
and there's a rain date of July 12th.
Okay.
They take place at Manchester Community College on Bidwell Street in Manchester. I think they call it Manchester State now.
Yes.
And they kick off. The official time that the events begin is 4 o'clock, but guests are welcome to come and stake out their territory really as soon as the sun comes up. The one thing we will suggest is that you get there early because there's 1,900 parking spots. And we're going to have, if the weather holds, we're going to have 10,000 people.
Wow. 10,000 people. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's free admission. We do ask for, when people are coming in, there's an opportunity to give $1 or a donation to defray the costs, but there's no expectation.
Oh, that's nice.
It is. It's wonderful.
Who puts this event on?
It's a Town of Manchester event, primarily driven by the Recreation Department.
Oh, nice.
But the committee has a battalion fire chief and a retired fire chief and a whole bunch of other people that all are very specialized in what they do, very good at what they do.
Doing
doing it a long
fireworks.
time. Right,
Yes,
right.
For
the fireworks.
safety, yeah.
Right. And I believe this is the 41st year we're going to be having them at Manchester Community College.
Wow.
And not only are the fireworks free, there's a kid zone that we call it, and
zone.
there'll be activities taking place. There'll be people on stilts and magicians that'll be circulating through the crowd. There's no charge for that. And then there's face painting and other kid-friendly, family-friendly. And I think we're going to have 14 food trucks. Those are not free. You have to pay for.
Oh my goodness, 14 food trucks.
Yep, and then all the kids' activities, the face painting and all that is not. There's no charge for that.
That's wonderful.
Right.
That's great.
It is, and it's we do have significant private organizations that do contribute significant funds,
That's great.
like the Savings Bank of Manchester.
That's
And then I think it's important that we mention handicap parking.
Yes.
There are places for handicap parking, but they're not near the stage. They're not near the fireworks. So there is a period or a length of real estate that you have to navigate to get to the amphitheater itself.
Yes.
And that's just the way the parking lot is set up, and then it's an amphitheater.
Yeah.
And we have to also keep in mind that there's a heavy amount of pedestrian traffic.
Oh, yes.
So we don't want parking too close to the amphitheater itself.
Oh, that's great.
Well, this is America 250.
Yes.
This is a significant event. This is going to be bigger and better than a typical Manchester fireworks, which are always
Amazing.
big. Right, they
They're
are.
pretty nice, yeah.
They'll still run for about the same 30-minute period. You'll know they're getting ready to start when we sing the national anthem, not me.
Oh, no?
No. I don't know the words. No, just kidding. And then let's see. Most food trucks accept credit cards, but some maybe require cash. Our novelties table takes only cash. There is no ATM on site. The event is definitely kid-friendly, like I mentioned.
That's great.
We've got free face painting, jugglers, balloon artists, stilt walkers, magicians. The kids are going to love it. You can bring a cooler.
Good.
Small coolers are permitted, as well as lawn chairs, blanket, and picnic baskets. We ask people not to bring tents or canopies because that'll obviously block the view of the people behind you.
That makes sense.
You can bring your own food, your own drinks, obviously.
Oh, nice.
Please don't bring glassware in any form. The community college is a public facility where there is no smoking or vaping of any type. And that's just normal consideration for the people around us. This is an event that gets quite crowded, and we don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable or get miserable. There's no pets allowed, not on a leash.
No pets?
Well, think about it. Fireworks, dogs, cats.
Good point. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's just not a good idea. The fireworks are very intense. It's what they say, it's not a pet-friendly environment. Yeah, you can ride your bike to the event, though. Manchester's a very bike-friendly
Yes,
community.
it is. That sounds wonderful.
It is actually a good
This
idea.
sounds like a really fun time. So
It is. We've been doing it for a while now.
yeah, 41 years. That's
Yeah,
great.
and even before that. Let me just real quick mention Dutch Fogarty, the person
Okay,
that
sure.
brought this up. He was widely known in and around Manchester as, his name was James, but he was actually known as Dutch Fogarty. He was a fighter with the South Manchester Fire District, retiring with the rank of captain. He served as the town's civil defense director in the 1970s. He was on the Manchester Board of Directors from 1981 to 1991. He was a self-described human liberal but fiscal conservative who promoted family-friendly activities and fiscal responsibility. He was a founder of the Manchester Midget Football League and concession stand at Charter Oak Park and Mount Nebo Field. He founded the town's annual Independence Day and initiated the community-run and volunteer-led 4th of July fireworks celebration. He passed away in 1991, but the event continues in his honor as a tribute to the great works that he did.
That's wonderful.
It is. It's a great way to honor someone who dedicated their lives to the community.
Well, thank you for being here, Tom.
It was a
and
pleasure.
it's nice to meet you in person.
It is.
Yeah.
We've spoken many times.
That's it. Well, I'm glad you could be here on the Magical
Thank you, ma'am.
Alternative. And now that the show is being broadcast in Manchester and on Cox Cable, you guys get to enjoy this. And I hope if you enjoy this, you share it. Thank you so much,
was a
everyone.
pleasure.
Give a hand to my guest, Mr. Tom Topping. Thank you. Welcome back. Tonight we have again with us our good friend Gavin Bone, and we're going to be discussing all kinds of interesting things tonight. So, how are you? Welcome back.
Good. It's great to be back on the show.
Great, thank you. It's good to see you. Did you have a nice Beltane?
Quiet.
Quiet.
It's quiet.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's better than some.
It comes from living in the middle of the countryside. So when you're out here, you're sort of pretty much close to everything that's going on in nature anyway.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Well, I know here I'm excited that I see our we call them groundhogs or woodchucks, and the mother is super huge this year. So I always look for her to see what the summer is going to be like, and I think it's going to be a good summer. So,
Yes.
yeah. Well, tonight I wanted to talk with you a little bit. The first thing on my list is about the Wiccan family tree. That has come up a few times, and I find the newer people to the craft don't really know about it. And I find that to be a shame. Where it started, I think everyone knows of Gerald Gardner, but where it goes from there and significant individuals who actually helped create it and where, it started and how it got to where we are today. Could you add to that?
Oh my God. There is so much going on before Gardner.
That's the point. People think it started with him.
There is so much going on. And some of this goes back to basically the English Civil War with Cromwell and the Roundheads.
Wow.
And people don't realize it. There were some very strange nature-based cults which appeared. Of course, a lot of Americans are listening to this. So the English Civil War, which took place in the basically early 1600s, you had basically the first time Britain became a democracy, it became a republic.
Okay.
And Cromwell, it was quite a despotic republic, but it was a republic. But most of the Christians were Puritans at this stage. It really was a Puritan revolution. But there were these strange cults which formed, and there were things like that, what they called the Levelers, which believed in social equality.
Okay.
I mean, these people predated the French Revolution. There was one interesting group which was Christian pantheistic, that God and nature were the same thing.
Oh, love it.
And that was around. Now, you do have people practicing folk magic still in the British Isles. Not as much as in Catholic countries, because in Catholic countries you were able to hide it away. You could hide it behind saints, just as Santeria and Voodoo did in the Caribbean, the African diaspora religions. So this is why you find actually when you look at British history and the witch trials, which a lot of those supposed witches are actually Catholics.
Oh.
Because they were practicing idolatry and very clearly they were doing black magic. They were Catholics after all, an enemy to the state. So this is what you see. So there are these survivals going on. But some of these survivals survived in a very strange place. And this was Freemasonry.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is absolutely fascinating because this is some of my family history, because my family originates on my mother's side, East Anglia, around King's Lynn.
Yes.
And I know that my great-great-great-grandfather was actually a Freemason. Not only was he a Freemason, he was one of the last surviving what they called free lodges. Because what happened is that in Britain, Freemasonry, these lodges just did everything they wanted, anything they liked. They weren't organized and structured. And you had all sorts of interesting people in them. You had dowsers like William Stukeley. He's rather famous for all these line drawings of Stonehenge and Avon from the period of the 1600s.
Yes.
He was a dowser. You have people who were horse whisperers or cunning men.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's mainly masculine. So a lot of folk magic practices survived in these free lodges. And then in the early 1700s, the main lodges in London decided all the Masons must all come under one banner, which they called the Grand Lodge. And all the magical stuff got thrown out.
It did?
Yeah, all the magical stuff got thrown out. So that was taboo. They were still doing the rituals, the traditional rituals that they always did, related to Tubal Cain. But what happened was these lodges decided, right, that's it. We're just going to carry on doing our own thing. Of course, Freemasonry was called the craft. We're going to carry on. We're not like these new guys in London. We're the old craft.
They use that term.
Are you familiar with that term?
I am. You know, it's funny. I want to just intercede right at this point. I don't know if it was a yard sale or I don't typically go to those, but at one time, I think my mother did at one time. And so I was with her. I happened to come across this plate and I bought it and I had to have it. Didn't understand what it was at the time. Brought it home. My husband's like, "Oh, I had a friend who was a Mason. That comes from them." And I'm like, "Well, that's our stuff because it had a symbol. It had a star, and it had green and red, blue and yellow, and the points, apexes of the star, and it had different symbols." And
Yes.
I'm like, "No, that's ours. That's all of our symbolism." And he says, "No, I think that's the Masons." And I'm like, "What is happening here?" I still have that
The
plate.
pentagram goes back to ancient Sumeria.
Oh,
So in case of who had it first.
yeah.
They found when they were doing the digs at Sutton Hoo in East Anglia. These were Anglo-Saxon remains, as Anglo-Saxon longbow burial.
Yes.
They found actually gold ornaments and jewelry with that five-pointed star on.
You mentioned that once before, yeah.
Yeah. But what happened was that, of course, when Gerald Gardner came along, he's referred to as the father of modern witchcraft. He came into the craft and he got involved with actually some of these, what were originally free lodges, what was known as the Scottish Rite.
Yes.
So elements of the Scottish Rite came into Wicca, into some of the initiatory practices. There's nothing wrong with that. Gardner was trying to reconstruct. There wasn't much left of what he found in the New Forest. But of course, what happened was Gardner was very much attention seeker, publicity seeker all the time, which got him into trouble all the time with his own coven, particularly Dora Valiente. And once he hit the newspaper, suddenly out the woodwork come these people claiming they're hereditary witches. And many of these were people who called themselves old craft. Okay. And what they would have been practicing was the remains of that old form of Freemasonry, which still had the magical aspects to it. Now, one of those is rather famous because he actually worked with Doreen Valiente, one of these gentlemen, whose name, unfortunately, sorry, Faith, the name's
It wouldn't have been Aleister Crowley.
No. Oh,
Okay.
God, I remember his name. Anyway, he called it, there were several quite well-known people around witchcraft who called themselves old craft.
Was the Freemasons and the old craft practiced what we would recognize as witchcraft?
Yes, because they also brought witchcraft and aspects of ceremonial high magic in.
Ah, yes.
It just became a blanket for all these people who did magic to me quite safely. Think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Freemason. I'm going to the lodge tonight, and they're going in there. They're all practicing magic.
And being men, they had extra protection.
Yes.
Nobody was going to bother the rich men in the village.
Yeah.
Because they did seem to be a little bit more wealthy, or they were business owners.
Yeah.
They were
so
craftsmen.
This is what happened. And they sort of popped out the woodwork. So there's also lots of other interesting things going on. So there's that strain thread going back. And really, it isn't that, it's just a case of magical practitioners just hiding it down the Freemasonry. Then there is really what is related to history. At the end of the First World War, a lot of people rejected everything which caused the war. They rejected imperialism. They started to reject organized state religion, particularly in the British Isles. Remember, in the British Isles, even today, King Charles is the head of the Church of England.
Yes.
So people were rejecting that. And they looked at what was going on in the country. And they started to look to nature. The same thing happened in Germany. In Germany, unfortunately, it got co-opted. The Volkisch movement got co-opted by the far right, Nazis. But in Britain, it also happened as well. And you had this interesting organization called the Green Shirts.
Oh, okay, yes.
And they it sounds a bit ominous after the terms like black shirt, brown shirt, etc.
And the brown shirts, yeah.
No, actually, no. They were very nature-based.
Ah, okay.
And these people appeared in the 20s and 30s. If you went to one of their events, if you went back in time and went to one events, you'd recognize they're dressing up, medieval clothing. In some cases, they're using runes and other magical symbols on banners. It's about worshipping Mother Earth. Some
like going to a Ren fair today.
Yeah. Most people have never heard of them. So you have all these strange, weird, and wonderful cults going on. Let's just call them cults in a broad sense of the word. You also, of course, have spiritualist mediumship going on.
Yes.
I mean, the dawn of the New Age wasn't in the 60s. The dawn of the New Age was in the 1920s and 30s, post First World War. And of course, after the Second World War, you get the same repeat, which is what you see with Gardner and all the people around him rejecting.
Post World War I, wasn't that a big push with the Egyptologists because of Howard Carter and all the Egyptian.
So all this Egyptian stuff is coming in, and that's getting brought in. Sometimes occultism goes through like these fads.
Yes.
of what's going on in archaeology at this time.
Yes.
and you spot it. I mean, I grew up at a period when everything was fashionably Celtic.
Yes.
Back in the 1980s, and when I came to the craft, everything was fashionably Celtic. Everything, if you could get like, there were things getting labelled Celtic on them which weren't Celtic. It still goes on a little bit. So you see these sort of little fads that go on
Yeah.
regarding witchcraft and occultism. So Gardner comes along. So Gerald Gardner is actually out in the Far East. Now, he grew up from a very middle-class family, middle class. And he goes to work out in the Far East for the British Empire.
Yes.
And he is actually a customs man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
He's a customs officer. And while he's out there, he is coming across these magical traditions. He's coming across Hinduism. He's coming across Far Eastern shamanism. And it's absolutely enthralling him. He was a tea planter at one point on Ceylon, modern, what's known now called Sri Lanka. And of course, people there just walked around naked all the time. And that's where he got his love of actually basically naturism, because he felt connected to nature. There were Hindu temples there. We actually have in our collection 2 items, which are little, what's called pig iron, which were part of Gardner's private collection, which came from Sri Lanka, from Ceylon. And they're actually tantric from one of the temples. So all this, he came across all this. And when Margaret Murray's book,
I was just going to ask you
came out, he read it and became absolutely convinced it was correct, even though a lot of academics have trashed it. It is quite inaccurate.
I was going to ask you about that. Yes.
I mean, you have to be honest about these things in the craft.
Yes.
You have to be honest about where things come from.
Because the witch cult of Western Europe is Dr. Murray's work.
Yeah, Dr. Margaret Murray.
And if I recall correctly, she attributed...
everything's building up by this time for the Second World War.
Yes.
So he moves to the New Forest, where he comes to the New Forest. He starts to meet people. There is a Rosicrucian theatre. He becomes involved with that. Sybil Leek is in the area, who is there, a traditional witch. I was very lucky enough to meet some of her last initiates.
Oh, nice.
And actually briefly worked with them back in the 80s. Ron and Margaret Hill. Ron was actually initiated by Sybil Leek at Ringwood, at her antique shop. So I heard lots of stories about what she did have and what she didn't have. One of the things she didn't have is a book of shadows.
She did not have.
No, it wasn't there. No. A lot of her basis of what she did was based on astrology. She was very much folk magic. And my friend Ron was actually in a room at a meeting, and where there was both Gardner and actually Sybil Leek.
Oh.
Gardner moves to the New Forest.
Yes.
And he finds himself. He also goes, because of naturism, he goes to a wonderfully named place. It's a naturist camp, which has been set up by some of these people. I was talking about the green shirts and the folk movement. And it's been set up by some of these people. So he goes to that. And of course, a lot of these people are interested in folk magic and stuff there as well. The place had a wonderful name. It was called Sandy Balls. It's still there. You can look it up. Sandy Balls. There was at least one quite well-known druid who was there, who became the founding member of OBOD. Also, he kept there in that area was a rather interesting movement. So Gardner met these people who were part of at least this one druid who was part of the woodcraft folk, the woodcraft order of chivalry. And there's an exchange of material, certainly between him and this druid. And that includes the concept of the Wheel of the Year.
Ah,
Now, the
yes.
woodcraft folk did not originate in England. The woodcraft folk originated in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, United States.
States. And originally they were part of the first American scouting organization, which was the Woodcraft Indians, a term which wouldn't be considered to be appropriate nowadays, but for the kids it was called the Woodcraft Indians.
And they're a Native American group.
They weren't Native American, they were Europeans.
They were European, okay. And they were here. And you had given me some information about how they were responsible for putting together what we consider our Celtic Wheel of the Year.
Yes, because what they did is they put together this listing of different festivals. Most of them were using the Christian names like Lammas and for them. They weren't using Celtic names.
So they weren't using Beltane.
Halloween. And what they did is they placed those festivals on the Native American medicine wheel.
That blew my mind.
You will not find the concept of the Wheel of the Year before them or Gerald Gardner.
And I think they were in the 1970s, were they not?
They're still going. No, the woodcraft folk originated in the 1920s and 30s.
Okay.
They're still around the New Forest in Britain.
Okay.
If you go to the New Forest.
But before then, there was no medicine wheel concept of the Wheel of the Year.
No, it wasn't a Wheel of the Year. There were these individual
holidays,
festivals, which were church dates.
So you say church days. We had Lammas, but that was a Christian version of Lunasa.
Yeah, Loaf Mass.
Loaf Mass.
So you have then, of course, winter solstice and the equinox is put on. And there was just solstice, summer solstice, spring equinox, autumn equinox, or the vernal equinox, or whatever.
But weren't they originally celebrated by pagans in different parts of Europe? Not all of them.
Oh, yes, but they got absorbed by the church. But here's the thing.
Well,
What's
Pope
interesting
Gregory
is they weren't worshipped as those eight. No, they would depend on where you live. It's like the folk festivals around England. There was a particular emphasis on Beltane. On Bealtaine, that's the Irish, on May Day. There are several festivals, particularly the Padstow Hobbyos, which is famous. Then you've got other festivals related to other times of the year.
Mabon and, of course, Samhain.
Yeah. Specifically, you've got some related to Imbolc, to the beginning of the festival in February.
Yes.
Beginning of February, which you also find in folk traditions.
And that became...
It's not like this everybody worshipping, even in pagan times, every single festival.
No, I understand that. But like Imbolc became Candlemas.
Yeah,
and the Christians took February 1st, made it February 2nd.
But that was an intentional absorption by the church to bring pagans into the fold.
Yeah.
During the Saxon period.
I've understood that and how they've tried to, especially as we see Samhain, and that became a three-day festival of All Hallows Eve, Hallows Mass, All Souls Day.
In Ireland, if you say, "Oh, will you be free for Samhain?" to somebody in Ireland, just a person in the street, I said, "Yeah, I should be free in November."
Ah, yes.
Because Samhain here is the name for November.
Is the name for November. That's
Gaelic.
Yes.
And thank you, Gavin. And we're going to be continuing this discussion next month. We have so much more to share with you. If you'd like to find out more about me or enchantments, check out my website at enchantmentsct.com. And you can also send any questions to our email at enchantmentsct@gmail.com. Is it your dream to be on television, to have your own TV show? So how do you do it? Contact the public access television station in your town.
Have a concept, get some friends together, and they will help you make your dream a reality. I want to thank everyone on the crew, everyone at Community Voice Channel, and as the great late John Lennon said, peace is not something you wish for, it's something you make. Let us keep praying for peace in the Middle East, peace around the world, and peace right here at home. And for my people in Ukraine, Slava Ukraini, America Vizami. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a beautiful rest of your night, and peace.